Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our current session focuses on teacher training of language teachers, international practices. I hope and expect by the end of this session, you would have some know-how of the international practices in this regard. Well, my dear students, the degree of political control over teacher education varies from society to society and country to country. Where teacher education is entirely in the hands of universities, the state may not have any direct control whatever over what or how the new teachers are taught. This can lead to anomalies such as inappropriate methods. So, if it is directly in the control of the universities, every university would have the autonomy or the freedom to do that. The result may be that, in one university, the training is going according to other levels. In the other university, the level is different. Or the teachers being taught by persons with little or no hands-on experience of teaching in real classrooms. So this is another possibility that can be harmful. In other systems of teacher education, maybe the subject of detailed prescription, that is, the state may specify the skills that all teachers must possess, or it may specify the contents of teacher education courses. Now, this is completely the other extreme of the type of control that a state would have in that case. Well, in many countries, initial teacher education, also known as pre-service teacher education or teacher training, takes place largely or exclusively in institutions of higher education. It may be recognized according to two basic models. Now, the first model is of consecutive teaching. This is a consecutive model where a teacher first obtains a qualification in one or more subjects, often an undergraduate bachelor's degree in a particular subject, and then studies for a further period to gain an additional qualification in teaching. So, for example, a teacher gets a bachelor's degree in history and then gets, for example, a 6 months or a 1 year's training in how to teach history. In the same way, when it comes to language teaching, the teacher would first, for example, get a degree in language or in linguistics at the undergrad level or at the master's level, and then would have some duration of training that would be specific to the teaching of English language, for example. There is an alternative concurrent model as well. In this, a student simultaneously studies both one or more academic subjects and the ways of teaching that particular subject or that particular set of subjects, leading to a combined bachelor's degree and teaching credential to qualify as a teacher of that particular subject. Well, as a matter of fact, this alternative concurrent model is not followed, in many of the countries. It is only in a few states it is followed. Other pathways are also available. In some countries, it is possible for a person to receive training as a teacher by working in a school or by working in any educational institution as a practitioner and would have an accredited experience practitioner to supervise this person, and thus as an internee, for example, this person would have training in that. For example, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, there is a long tradition of partnerships between the universities and the schools in providing state-supported teacher education, where, the schools would send their teachers to the universities, and under the apprenticeship of the university teachers, these school teachers would get some training how to teach. When it comes to the United States, approximately 1/3 of new teachers come through alternative routes to teaching to kind of get teacher certification. However, many alternative pathways are affiliated with schools of education where candidates will still enroll in university-based coursework that they would do for teaching. There are a number of countries and states that have put in place comprehensive systems of support to help beginning teachers during their first 1 year or a few years of their profession. So elements of such program would include various aspects. The first element is mentoring. So they would, one or more than one such teachers would be allocated to one experienced teacher for the purposes of mentoring, for the purposes of guiding, for the purposes of counseling. Also, another element is a peer network where for mutual support, there would be kind of peer learning where different teachers would support each other in the process of learning how to teach. The third element is input. From various educational experts, input is provided on their performance. The fourth element or aspect is support. For the process of self-reflection that all the teachers engage in, they are provided support how to do that process or how to learn to do that process. So today, culturally responsive teaching is all appreciated much. What is responsive teaching? It requires teaching education and teachers to address the issues of diversity, which are of great significance in the today's world, in the context of teaching and learning in today's global context. Well, when it comes to continuous professional development or CPD, it is the process by which teachers, like other professionals, reflect upon their own competencies, they keep themselves updated, and they get further development in their skills. The extent to which educational authorities support this process, it again varies from country to country and society to society based on various approaches towards teaching. Example of international policies and practices, if I try to give to you, I would say policy cooperation in the European Union has led to a broad description of the kind of attributes that teachers in European Union member states should possess. So they have a complete document for that, and that document is titled as the Common European Principle for Teacher Competencies and Qualifications. Another important aspect that I want to talk about is the innateness. Well, mentalism, which is much of the human behavior, is biologically determined, and which believes that the text that is presented in the documents that are given in the Common European Principles for Teachers and for their competencies, they present certain kinds of what I would say qualifications that are required from the teachers. A teacher has to be a qualified professional to meet certain standards of the initial vocational education and then to be updated on the highly qualified professional areas with a suitable pedagogical qualification. This is one of the standards that is set in this document. Every teacher should have the opportunity to continue their studies to the highest level. So there is a process of unending, qualification improvement. A profession placed within the context of lifelong learning. It is believed that teachers should be supported in order to continue their professional development throughout their careers. It is also, this document also documents that it is a mobile profession. Mobility should be a central component of the initial and continuing teacher education programs. Teachers should be encouraged to participate in European projects and spend time in studying in other European Union countries because these multiplicities of experiences and exposures would help them improve, their professional outlook. And finally, making it work, the key competencies. The document says that teachers should be able to work with others. They work in a profession which should be based on the values of social inclusion and nurturing the potential of every learner. They need to have knowledge of human growth and human development apart from the particular subject that they are supposed to teach.